Perfect. Good evening. Apologies for the delay. We had a little bit of a technical issue. I will call this meeting to order at 7:10. First thing on the agenda is the adoption for October 19th, 2020. Are there any changes or additions from administration?
None that I know.
From council?
Under confidential, I don't know where it'd be. It's under FOIP.
Okay, 13.3 FOIP under confidential. Any others? Yes.
Thank you. I just have one for the good, under the good of the council.
Okay.
And it's a staff thank you.
Perfect. Councillor Staub?
I'll move to accept the agenda as amended.
All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Moving right along to information 8.1, report for council live streaming review.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So before you have a memo about the live streaming. It's coming up 1 year since the project started. So initially we started with about a $5,000 budget with the efforts to increase public awareness, public engagement about council meetings. Over the year, we have tracked the numbers, both live streamers as well as playbacks. And it's tallied there, every council meeting, every committee meeting, and we got a median views of 34. We took out the high one, we took out the low one, we gave you the median of 34 views. So tonight we wanted to get your feedback on the 1 year review, and if there's any appetite to expand the service, keep the status quo, or any feedback to that, since we're coming into budget deliberations very soon. So with that, I'll open up for any questions.
Any questions? Comments? Yes.
Well, I looking at the stats, I think it's amazing. We have a lot of consistent viewers, but there's certain council meetings that stand out that, 1,100 and 177 rest around, 40-ish. Interesting how all of a sudden we got such big stats on a couple of them.
Mayor Poole, and then Councillor Hill.
So right now, have we had any feedback from the public regarding the format, the quality, or anything that has been through the administration office?
Not directly to myself, nothing from the other directors. Any feedback from the RTD? No.
So I would guess from my perspective, if they're happy with what we're doing right now, I know we can't get our presenters on right now. What would be a ballpark figure to get a more rounded type of?
Yeah, great question. The sky's the limit, depending on where you want to go. As we noted in the memo, we could get run up upwards of $50,000. That would be for additional monitors, additional camera on the speaker, even to the extent that we could have individual mics, panning cameras, all that kind of fun technology that will enhance the streaming kind of view for the public as well.
So I guess specifically what I was wondering about, do we have the capability of using that type of camera, which was approximately, $5,000? And putting it up somewhere here so it could direct back to the presenter, and having somebody switching the cameras back and forth. I don't know enough about the technology behind it to know whether that's possible.
Yeah, that's totally possible, but once you go into multiple cameras and switching, then you have to go with a different kind of controlling mechanism where it will handle multiple feeds. You have to have somebody constantly watching it, switching cameras and that kind of stuff. So that does add to the cost, because you do need extra equipment to handle multiple feeds and that. So that camera there was about $4,000 by itself. Then there was the microphones and all that kind of stuff on top of it to get it to $5,000. But yeah, a basic like 2 or 3 camera one with switching would probably be $25,000-$30,000 minimum. And then there's extra fees for some software subscriptions on top of that for something like an OBS software, which is for handling the live stream and such.
So we're looking at significant costs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Health?
Thank you. At this point in time, considering we haven't received any negative feedback in regards to the quality of the live streaming that we're putting out, I would think that it's more than appropriate for us to leave it at this level for this point, at least for another year. That's my opinion and how I feel voting on the motion that comes forward.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, do we need a motion?
Just for information.
Yeah, just for information.
Nope, perfect. Councillor Health? You can accept for information.
Yeah, it's been a long Monday.
Okay,
Sorry, team.
all in favor? And that is unanimous. Moving along to 8.2, report for council, Wady Center operations.
Thank you. As you know, Myers not here, and also Jed's not here, so I'm just gonna go bring the Wady Center operation update for 2020. I know that 2020 hasn't been kind to the Wady Center. I know that COVID did hit the numbers pretty bad for visitation. I know we had between 400 and 500 a year since we built it, and now we're down to about 200. So one of the positive things that's going on there is that there's been some public art pieces that have been put in there. And I know that Judy's working hard with the Historic Society to put some additions in there, which is kind of helping out. But COVID is put a kind of a strain on that facility, so I think it's going to get better for next year. But we just want to give you that difference.
Thank you for the update. Are there any questions? Seeing none, can I get a motion? Mayor Poole?
Move to accept the Wady Center operation report for information.
Debate? All in favor? And that is carried unanimously. And we can move into 8.3, AUMA Convention Prize Award Donation.
Yes, congrats council for $500 received from AUMA Convention. And of course, that money is to donate towards a nonprofit service organization in our community. There is a list here of the bunch that we have in our community and also outside of our community, thanks to members of the board. But we also talked at administration level and also on SGSS level that our 3 biggest wants for that $500 is food bank, lunchbox program, and of course, the Christmas girl that's coming. So, but that's entirely up to you guys to decide. I leave it to you guys.
Any comments? Seeing none, I have a question. The Lunchbox program, I know that they are extending their programming until I believe the end of December. Do we know where they are getting their funding currently? Is it just strictly donations?
Absolutely, yeah.
And where are we at? Do we know where they're at?
The United Way recently opened another set of grant applications with emergency funding, as has the Red Deer and District Community Foundation has more grants available. So I'm going to say probably over 50% of Carrie's time right now is spent tracking some funding down, because with the Winter Coats program and the Christmas Bureau upcoming, and the fact that our big companies that usually donate to us aren't in a position right now to donate, so it's definitely going to be a challenge this year for sure.
Mayor Poole?
I noticed that the winter coats program was not included in this list.
Yeah, so
So-
it's part of the,
But you don't feel that that's one of the ones that are going to be most in need?
It's listed there. Blackfalds SCSS subsidized programming, benevolent fund, leisure access festivals for schools, winter coats for kids, and Blackfalds Christmas Bureau.
I think what he's referring to is it's not in the top 3.
top 3. And we did these. top three.
Great.
Uh,
Those were the ones that we received from administration as the ones most in need.
So the way that we operate our subsidized programs within FCSS is we raised our funding last year for this year's program. So any money that we raise this year will go towards 2021. So right now, we do have funding to administer that program. These other programs, our food bank's need is massive, and the lunchbox program is massive. Just today alone, our numbers were increased by, I'm not good at math, as we all know, 7 children. So on average weekly, we've seen an increase of a handful of kids, starting out with 39 children a week for the first couple of weeks in March and April. And today we provided lunchbox program and breakfast supplies for 120 children. Wow. It's massive, yeah.
So that'd be fourth on the list.
So, if I may, speaking just on behalf of the lunchbox program, I was at the elementary for their school council meeting a couple of weeks ago. And the principal spoke very, very, very highly about the lunchbox program and the fact that it is providing families, not specifically with lunches, but with the groceries that they would need to make those lunches themselves. It's empowering families to actually send their children who before were not coming to school with anything to eat and were quite often having to do the walk of shame down the hallway to get something from the office every lunchtime. Now they're coming with a bag lunch that they made themselves. It's teaching kids how to put together a healthy lunch and make a sandwich. This school is immensely thankful for the lunchbox program and the providers who decided to go ahead and start that. And they specifically said without it, those kids would be going without lunch because they don't have the capability right now with COVID to supply food or snacks or anything else for those children. So my personal opinion is that the $500 should be going to the lunchbox program. I think that our schools benefit from it, our families benefit from it, and the community benefits from it. Careful.
Thank you. Do we have any ideas as to what fundraising Christmas Bureau is going to be able to forward this year? Because Christmas is just around the corner, and you know how important what a need they fill for families who have nothing for Christmas to provide that extra bit. So I'm wondering if there's any fundraising ideas or.
We typically don't think of the Christmas Bureau until we're done our winter coats, and we're just determining right now how we're going to do a virtual dessert auction. Typically, and we will reach out to all of our past donors, and that's worked in the past, and we can really be hopeful that it'll work again this year. It's going to be an interesting couple of years, I believe.
But we've been able to work around the donors that are existing in the past, so there's hope that they would be able to step forward again this year. Thank you.
Is there a possibility this year as well to continue running the Angel Tree program that we've done in the past because we have businesses that are open? Would it still be possible to have the trees with the?
We'll probably take a different form with touch points and things being of such high concern right now, but we've definitely been working with our marketing department about what that could look like.
Okay, Councillor Hoover?
Yeah, I don't know if it's up to the municipality, but I'm wondering if we've been in contact with Breakfast Clubs of Canada. They don't just provide breakfast, they do a lunch program, I believe. So it's probably not up to us, probably more up to the school, but it would be interesting to know if we've contacted them.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely reaching out to absolutely every agency we can. We've been in contact with Mustard Seed and Red Deer and different ministerial groups and all of the different groups that do these types of programs. And there's a lot of opportunity. The opportunity to be innovative is, I think, it's great right now, and we're trying to figure out the very best way that we can do this. Currently, our food bank is leading the charge and doing a fabulous job at getting the donations, and we're really leaving it to them to sort of lead us with it. They're doing a really wonderful job of it. So we're really grateful for the partnership with the After the Grind and the food bank. Go ahead.
Yeah, listening at the comments, and when I saw these three up, there is there's no bad choice. And I think the thing is they all are gonna need support this year. So regardless to with the 500 prize donation, it's something, I don't know what all we can do. I mean, it comes right back to it. It's just putting the message out that how much this will be a year that these programs are going to need, if you're able, your help. And I think that's
Careful.
So how is the food bank doing right now as far as donations and their ability to maintain? Because we have an increasing need in the food bank due to the whole situation that we're in right now.
In the last couple of years, our food banks went from being a nonprofit to being a charity to being a part of Alberta Food Banks and being a part of the Good Food Centers. And some of those opportunities have really given us some leverage when it comes to donated goods. The need is great right now, but we're also seeing great support from these different agencies that they're now a part of. So whether they're sort of happening concurrently. So it's really, really lucky. Of course, donations are always beneficial. The addition of Milo Foods in town has been really, they're a great new partner as well that have welcomed the food bank in sort of partnership. I believe they have a twice a month arrangement with the food bank. I know IG has been wonderful as well. We've had great success with our local partnerships. Of course, the need is much increased, but people are still donating, and that when it starts getting really cold out and people's utility bills start increasing to be able to heat their homes is when we're going to see some sort of new action. Yeah.
Careful.
So through the chair, are you looking for this to move forward with a motion or consensus? What is the chair's preference?
I would be happy with a motion. Careful.
I move that the $500 from the AUMA convention prize that was awarded to the town for volunteer purpose be put to the lunchbox program.
Debate on the motion? All in favor? Oh,
Subsequent.
careful.
And furthermore, that when we contact the AMA, a letter of appreciation also be sent to the AMA for providing this amount.
Perfect. All in favor? And that is carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and it appears as though we have a good of the council. We will do that prior to confidential items.
Thank you. I just wanted to pass along a thank you to CSD staff for the Counselor's Corner page on our website. It went up right away after we spoke about it, and I think it looks great. It's all organized, and all our previous Counselor's Corners from the last few years are on there. So I just wanted to say thanks for getting right on that. It looks great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And also,
I'll take gratitude any way it comes.
from everyone.
All right, perfect. And it looks like we have a couple of confidential items. Does anybody wish to move for a 5-minute recess, or would you like to just move right along? Councillor Pell?
Thank you. I'll move for a recess so that our staff can do what they need to do.
Perfect. Debate. All in favor? And that is carried unanimously.